Welcome to ET Now Startup Central, India's first and only daily show dedicated to startups and entrepreneurship. I'm Chandra Shrikant, joining you live from India's startup capital, Bengaluru. And there's just one talking point, one news story that's really occupied mind space throughout the day. It's of course Reliance Jio, and it's the way it's just going to disrupt telecom and data in India, and the man of the moment, Mukesh Ambani.
Absolutely. This is Krishna Kumar coming to you live from ET Now's Mumbai studios, and straight to the top story of the day. Mukesh Ambani's big bang return to telecom that has indeed rattled the industry with his disruptive plan to offer free voice calls, SMS and national roaming and data tariffs capped at 50 rupees per GB. Ambani hopes to garner 100 million customers in record time, but before that, Reliance Jio's mega trial is set to get even bigger. In a move that may escalate the combat with the incumbents, Ambani will open unfettered access to SIM cards starting this Monday, but the commercial launch is likely only by the end of the year. And before we get to all the detailed analysis of this and what it means for startups in the country, let's first listen to the man of the moment himself, Mukesh Ambani.
Starting coming Monday, the 5th of September 2016, Jio's data, voice, video, and the full bouquet of Jio's application and content will be available for everyone, absolutely free, till 31st December 2016. We Indians have come to appreciate and applaud Data-Giri. Now, every Indian can do Data-Giri, which is an opportunity. This Data-Giri is an opportunity for every Indian to do unlimited good things with unlimited data. Customers should pay for only one service, either voice or data, not both. World over, operators charge only for data, while voice and messaging are essentially free. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I have great pleasure in announcing a revolutionary concept for the Indian market. All voice calls for Jio customers will be absolutely free. The era of paying for voice calls is ending. Jio will usher India into this new era. No Jio customer will ever pay for voice calls again across India to any network. And in the spirit of One India, roaming charges will also be zero across India. Incumbent operators have significant advantages over new entrants, since incumbents have well-established networks and existing customers. Therefore, the onus is rightly on the incumbent operators not to misuse their market power by creating unfair hurdles when it comes to providing point of interconnect between their network and Jio's network. Such hurdles will serve only to create a poor experience for Jio customers who are trying to make calls to the incumbent operator's network.
Krishna, but that's not all. Apart from the huge bonanza that he's really announced for customers, free calls and that 50 rupees for 1 GB. There's also a huge bonanza for startups that's been announced today by Mukesh Ambani. And we are talking about the Jio Digital Fund for Startups. They've announced a 5,000 crore corpus which will be invested over the next 5 years to really help entrepreneurs develop businesses and leverage the Jio platform better. Interestingly, this is half of what the government of India has sanctioned under the Startup India program, the fund of funds, which was 10,000 crore. But Mukesh Ambani has gone out and announced a 5,000 crore fund for startups, a big sum coming there, and coming at a time when overseas sources of funding are drying up. We really have to wait and see how Jio puts that to use, if it will be restricted to ones within its closed network, or if it will be an open fund. But clearly that's a big shot in the arm coming for startups, Krishna.
Oh, absolutely, Chandra. 5,000 crore rupee fund for startups, and more importantly, the entire improved connectivity at such subsidized prices, what it's going to do to innovation in the country for people, depending upon the internet, like startups, technology startups in specific, their telecom bill, their telecommunication bills comes down significantly. So it's not just the 5,000 crore rupee fund that they set up for startups, but also telecom as a whole becoming far more affordable. That is great news as far as the Indian startup ecosystem is concerned, Chandra.
Yes, Krishna. And now, let's take it to all the top voices that we have on the show, voices that matter within the startup ecosystem. And we really start with Nandan Nilekani, the co-founder of Infosys, on what he thinks the impact of Jio is going to be as far as the ecosystem is concerned. He is, of course, very excited about the smartphone penetration that this is going to result in, the internet penetration, and also the effect on apps that it will have for the masses. Let's listen into what Nandan Nilekani had to say.
Reliance coming is a great thing. I think Mukesh has done an extraordinary job investing, whatever, $18–20 billion. I think three things that I noticed. One is that it'll drop the cost of data. Already you can see that data charges are being reduced by all the things. So I think data will become more affordable. Second, smartphones will become more affordable as more and more phones come at 3,000 rupee price points. And third, I think this whole voice over LTE will take off dramatically, the voice over IP. So three big things. And then, of course, once this platform becomes more and more ubiquitous, it will lead to lots of applications.
So we just heard out Nandan Nilekani over there, but let's also get a perspective from an investor and an entrepreneur on what Jio's launch will mean. Here out IDG Ventures' founder, chairman and managing director Sudhir Sethi, and Lenskart founder and CEO Piyush Bansal on the disruptive effects that Jio is likely to have on the consumer internet space.
I think I wish somebody had done that maybe a couple of years back. Data is very important, and data is expensive from a affordability point of view, and this will increase the data consumption. It will improve significantly the number of internet users which are going to come. So existing 100 million or 300 million users will use more data, which means more apps, more buying, more transactions, and so on and so forth. And then new users will come on the line. So I hope that this lower cost data usage will increase our 300 million base to something like 600 million in the next 3 years. This was a trigger which was awaited for.
Yet to see, but I think it will make a huge difference. I think one of the biggest reasons which is because of which mobile adoption could be much faster. See, today having a smartphone is not enough. Having a reliable mobile data connection is actually more critical. You really cannot buy on 2G on any of the e-commerce players. So you are looking at 3G, and it is expensive today. So I think it's going to make a huge difference.
So do you see more people coming to Lenskart?
Definitely. I think it is these things that are going to really bring the growth, not the advertising.
Certainly a lot of optimism there, Krishna, from Nilekani, the VC that we spoke to, Sudhir Sethi, and also Lenskart's Piyush Bansal. But let's also get some perspective from startups who might really leverage the Jio platform in the coming years, what they think about it, and if they are really enthusiastic about that 5,000 crore fund that Mukesh Ambani spoke about today. Rahul Dama caught up with some of these startups to really get their perspective on the impact of Jio's launch as far as the startup ecosystem is concerned. Let's listen into what they had to say.
I think it's absolutely exciting, and we are in the business of eradicating preventable blindness through technology, and for us reaching the nooks and corner of India is very, very important. And we want to screen people in remote villages, and we want these images to get transmitted to an ophthalmologist in the main city, and we want to ensure that the patient is identified with the problem can know about it. So for us, data connectivity is the most critical parameter, and we expect this will revolutionize the whole thing, bring down the cost, and I hope we can reach the nooks and corners of India.
So how much of this really would drive the adoption for 4G is concerned?
Yeah, actually speaking, right, I'm much more excited about this, primarily because the internet penetration in the villages of India where we work with a lot of farmers, is not that much as we expect, right? The farmer has a 2,000, 3,000 rupees basic phone, but he doesn't have any internet enabled in that. So with this, right, we are very excited that the same amount of money the farmer can actually buy a 4G enabled phone with which he can get the daily market prices, he can start the trading through online. So this will bring in a plethora of benefits to the farmer community.
Everyone's talking about will the quality really live up to the sort of expectation we have when they're giving you this sort of a free service. There's also a caution, and we hope that the service will live up. So how much of it will really depend on the quality of service?
The kind of pricing that we're talking about, my opinion would be that I think it's still too expensive when it comes out to being economical enough for the last 500 odd million people in India. But will the aspiring Indian and the elite Indian take to data with a vengeance? The answer is unequivocal yes. So I believe that it would indeed increase data usage. It would increase the usage of smartphones, as well as purchasing of goods and services over the internet. And for the ecosystem at large, I think it is a good news without a trace of doubt.
Also, this 5,000 crore entrepreneurship fund that Mukesh Ambani spoke about today, how excited are you about that? We're still not sure where the funds will go and how they plan to deploy, but seems like yes, the Ambanis will come out and aggressively now start investing in startups.
I think we need to look at the details, what it is, but I think if that is true and it can help entrepreneurs, I think a lot of these things can really reach the public, right? And it will help entrepreneurs to create more products, and it will also help them to integrate it with the services what Reliance is offering. So I think it's going to be very important, but we'll have to see what the details are.
What do you make of the entrepreneurship?
So it's very good for the community startup ecosystem, particularly at a stage in India where a lot of big foreign investors are not participating in a lot of funding rounds. But with the Indian big conglomerates coming and investing, it will be a very good news for the ecosystem. But still, as he said, we still have to wait and watch what will be the focus of this fund, how they are going to do this, how they are going to structure this. So it's like a wait and watch thing for all of us. But if it happens, it's really good for the community.
All right. Two things that you feel startups can leverage from this Reliance Jio sort of an impact. What are those two things? Because they would now also start offering you connections, also this Wi-Fi zones that Reliance Jio wants to set up across the country.
Yeah, so a couple of things. One, so obviously Mukesh Ambani went on record saying that Reliance Jio is the largest startup in the world. And now with a fund also being sanctioned at their end, I believe it will only add to the richness of the ecosystem. Given that Indian startups are predominantly funded by foreign money, and different pools of capital coming in is always good news. And when that pool of capital is the largest conglomerate in the country, which has interest from oil and gas, to retail, to telecom, the works. I think it can only add, to the richness of capital pools that we have in the country.
Mukesh Ambani is saying Reliance Jio is the biggest startup in the world, but Krishna, seldom has a startup rattled so many incumbent players like Jio has. It's, that stock market reaction is anything to go by today, Bharti and Idea.
Chandra,
but we've heard enough from the experts. Yeah, go on, Krishna.
Chandra, I think the startup is because it's about how disruptive Reliance Jio, is going to be, and what startups do. What an Ola or an Uber did. The kind of disruption that startups create, Reliance Jio will create. And only on that counts, can Reliance Jio be considered a startup? And you take the money and the numbers and you put it together. Well, it's going to take a whole world of startups to create one Reliance Jio.
Oh, absolutely. It's already a unicorn if you look at the fund that they have for other startups. But Krishna, enough of all the experts and the startups and their gyan. I think what matters most is, how it's going to impact consumers like you and me. Will we port to Reliance, wait for the quality of service? You've been catching up with customers all day today at various Reliance Life outlets in and around Mumbai. Rahul has also been doing the same in Bangalore. Let's listen into what some of these customers have to say.
These SIM cards have been flying off the shelves since morning when Reliance Jio was announced at RIL's annual general meeting. Now, these SIM cards come with power-packed data tariffs, as we all know, 1/10 of what the current incumbents charge. We're talking about $50 for 1 GB of data, and more importantly, completely free calls and SMSs and national roaming, not just for the initial period till December 2017, but for the rest of everybody's life, of anybody who gets their hands on a Reliance Jio SIM card. In fact, just behind me are people who are signing up for this brand new SIM card as we speak. Let me just check with one of them. 1 second. You were buying a Reliance Jio SIM card. आप क्यों खरीद रहे हैं ये?
सर रेट एकदम लो है और नेट अच्छा है, स्पीड अच्छा है, सब अच्छा है इसके।
आपने इसको टेस्ट किया कभी स्पीड के बारे में?
मेरे दोस्त ने मुझको सजेस्ट किया इसके लिए।
As you can see, this queue has not ended ever since I got here to the Reliance digital stores. 1 second. You're also buying a Reliance. क्यों खरीद रहे हैं आप?
बिकॉज इसका 4G नेट फ्री है 3 months के लिए, इसलिए और फास्ट चल रहा है नेट, so I can purchase in the Jio SIM card.
I'm guessing Reliance Jio will be very happy listening to that, because that's exactly the strategy when it comes to welcoming new users to the Reliance Jio network. Keep in mind, everything is free till December 2017, including access to the Rel Jio premium apps as well. So that means that this is the best welcome offer, as the company themselves said, and this is what it is expected to do: convert people, existing users, into Reliance Jio users. आप भी Reliance Jio खरीद रहे हैं, क्यों?
नेट फास्ट है उसका, 3 months के लिए फ्री है इसलिए।
So a lot of referencing already, friends telling other friends who have tested the Reliance Jio network, and that is the reason why straight from day one of Rel Jio's launch, these SIM cards are flying out of the shelves at Reliance digital stores over here in Mumbai. Well, Chandra, I have to admit that I entered a Reliance digital store, and every single customer over there was there to buy Reliance Jio SIM cards, and not for the washing machines on sale, or the refrigerators or televisions or any of those fast-moving items. They were there to pick up the Reliance Jio SIM, and I will assure you that. But how did things fare as far as Reliance digital outlets in Bengaluru is concerned? And for that, our very own Rahul Dayama was out there scouting the customer response in Bengaluru to Reliance Jio. Take a look at what he found.
The big takeaway really from Reliance Jio's mega launch and roadmap today has been free services till the end of this year, be it voice and data as cheap as 50 rupees per GB, and also 25% extra data for students. I'm joined here with 2 students, so let's try and understand as to what they make of this offer, and would they really jump on this sort of a plan. Tell me, how satisfied are you with your current network that you use? Are you a Reliance Jio customer? Clarify that. And with free voice calling, unlimited voice calling, 50 rupees per GB data, 200-300 rupees you get 8 GB data, free Wi-Fi hotspots. Would you look at switching to Reliance Jio?
Surely, I would love to do that, because usually we are youngsters, we are very much addicted to the networks. Like as you see in every field, everything. Like if you go for movie also, we check the first net, and then we go on for the movies or any other thing. And in projects also we use for the net, so that we get more information and get soon. So this is the great opportunity where we will find out the more data and all. And which network I'm using, it's really, I shouldn't say that, but yeah, it is little bit less. I would like to try this.
One student really excited, free voice calling, free data at least for 6 months. Who wouldn't be excited? You tell me, while pricing is really dirt cheap, it's cheaper, do you think the quality of service will be the big test for Reliance? Because most of us don't like the current call drops are as a big issue. So, will quality for Reliance be a big test?
It's cheaper also, but we are using which SIM we are using, that is the most cost, and it can't be take a more net fast, and 4G is we can go for Jio only. So it's possible to.
And also the fact that Jio phones भी available हैं, 4,000 में आपको 6,000 में phones मिल रहे हैं, तो आप do you see a lot of people जो ये phones लेकर फिर 4G connection की तरफ जाएंगे?
हाँ वो तो है, जैसे कि अब जैसे में 4G चल रहा है ना, उसमें भी आपको मिल रहा है फ्री सिम कार्ड मिल रहा है और 3 मंथ के लिए फ्री मिल रहा है। कौन यूज़ नहीं किया जाए, सब कुछ यूज़ करेगा।
So definitely you can see the free voice calling, the data plans in free service till the end of this year has what really caught the fancy of students, and I'm sure will resonate with a lot more students.
Interesting thoughts coming there from customers in Bangalore. But Krishna, I guess if there's one tweet that really sums up today, it's this: Reliance Jio should be called Reliance NGO, going by the number of freebies there.
Chandra, I can't believe you pulled that tweet right out of my head. I was going to end the show on that. I was waiting for you to finish up and say that. To me, the tweet of the day was, "Ye Jio hai ya NGO." But there's one more also which I read somewhere that, khud Jio, baki sabko maro, also being Reliance Jio's strategy as far as entering the telecom space is concerned. But with that, we've completely run out of time here on this edition of ET Now Startup Central. Thank you so much for watching. Don't go anywhere. Keep it with ET Now.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.